So I've been reading a lot about nootropics lately online, and I've been seeing people raving about these smart drugs that help with memory and concentration and all sorts of things. So I thought I would give them a go myself and document the results. And the one that particularly caught my eye and that I've been seeing a lot of buzz around is Aniracetam. I'm not sure if I pronounced that right, but whatever. So what I've decided to do is take Aniracetam for the next 7 days and make a kind of video diary of my results. I'll tell you if it works, if it doesn't, what its effects are, and if it really does help to get your brain into gear. So today is day 1 and I've got my Aniracetam right here. It's just arrived in the mail. So I'm going to open it up and then take some. So here we go, here's my Aniracetam right there. And if you're going to take Aniracetam, then you're also going to want to supplement it with some kind of choline. Now there's a few different types of choline out there that you can get that range in prices. But I've gone for the Alpha GPC, whatever that means, which is the most expensive one, but if you're on a tight budget, there's cheaper ones out there. And since Aniracetam is fat soluble, the other thing that you're going to want to supplement it with is some kind of fat source. Now this can just be some fatty foods like bacon and eggs, or you can go the direction I've gone, which is to get some fish oil tablets, which are cheap and will do the job well. And one final thing that you're probably going to need, if you don't already have one, are some scales that can measure in 0.01 gram increments. So I'm going to take my first dose now, and I'm going to start on 750 milligrams of Aniracetam, which tends to be the recommended dosage, and I'm going to add 500 milligrams of the Alpha GPC choline to it. Then I'm just going to chuck it in some water, and then I'm just going to scull it. So it's been a few hours now since I took my first dose of Aniracetam, and coincidentally this chair came today that I had to assemble myself, so it gave me something to, try to do. I think I did a pretty good job, and I know that's not really that hard, but you don't know how crap I am at self-assembly stuff, so I think I did quite a good job on that. I worked on editing some videos and things like that. I've done a few things, and at first I was like, oh, am I just concentrating extra hard because I know I've taken this and it's a placebo, or is it sort of starting to kick in a little bit? And then after a while I started to decide, I think this is actually working. I just kind of got into this calm but focused zone where I was really focused on the task that I was doing and really content to be doing it. I wasn't getting bored. I was quite happy to sit there and set up this chair and work on this video, and it'll be interesting to see how the rest of the week goes. But now I'm going to go for a run. I run anyway, but I want to see what it's like, on Aniracetam. I'm going to take another dose, and I'm going to listen to some music while I do it, because I have this feeling that music right now would be quite good. So we'll see how that goes, and I'll get back to you with more results. So I'm at the park, and I've just been for my run, and it was really, really good. I think everything just feels a little bit better on Aniracetam. I had a great chance to just sort of think, really enjoyed listening to the music. I think because your concentration is increased, you concentrate and enjoy the music more too. And you have the natural endorphins that feel great after a run anyway, but I think it's just a little bit, there's that little bit extra. What else can we do on this thing, huh? What's up? I'm back again, and it's day 3 on this stuff. Now, I was going to do an update yesterday on day 2, but I ended up going out on the first night and getting quite drunk, and I was pretty hungover yesterday, so I didn't get around to making a video, but it was interesting to see, just for research purposes, if it affected me in any way with the alcohol, and it didn't really. I didn't really notice any huge difference to normal. I just got really drunk and felt really hungover the next day. It definitely didn't help with the hangover or anything like that as much as I wish it would. But one thing that I did notice was that yesterday, once I did sort of lose my headache and start to sort of get a bit of life back into me, I took some more of this stuff. I decided to do some video editing and some web design and things like that, and sure enough, I was actually able to sort of get back into that zone of being really productive. And normally, I'll tell you, I'm not productive for at least 24 hours after a serious night of drinking, sometimes longer. So I was pretty impressed that I was able to sort of get back in that quickly, and I've been taking some again today and doing more things, designing more websites, stuff like that. And I really like this stuff. It actually it's not exactly what I was expecting. I mean, I don't know what I was expecting, but it is quite subtle, but it's a definite it definitely sort of puts you into that zone of being able to concentrate and stay concentrated and not getting distracted by a million different things, you know. I'm just about to take my second dose for the day, and I'm going to do a bit more video editing, then I'm going to go for a run, and I'm going to just see how far I can push this stuff, you know. How much can I actually get done in this week of work? Because I swear I've already done probably 3 times as much this week so far as I would have normally done, and that's no bullshit. I mean, sure, you might think it's placebo, and I thought so too at first, but I really don't think so anymore. I think that, yeah, there's a definite effect from this, and it's probably not what you would expect, but it does work, and I can see why people rave about it on the forums and are, you know, using it to study for exams and all that kind of stuff. And yeah, so we'll just keep going and see what happens. So it's day 5 of the experiment now, and I've been continuing to take this stuff. It's continuing to help me focus, and I've been doing lots of web design and different specific tasks that do require a lot of focus, and it is continuing to help me do that. One thing I have noticed is that it doesn't feel quite as strong as it did in the first couple of days. I think that could be just because I'm getting used to the effects now, whereas at first it was actually quite a surprise to see it working so well. So there's only a couple of days left. I'm not sure if there's really going to be much of a difference between now and day 7, but I will keep you updated and let you know what some of my final thoughts are about aniracetam and what it's good for, what it's bad for, all that kind of stuff. So I'll see you in 2 days, but in this video it'll be about 2 seconds. So it's the 7th day of my aniracetam trial, and I thought I'd kind of sum up my experiences throughout the week, both the good and the bad, so that you can get an idea of what this stuff is like. So the good thing about this stuff is that it really does help you to focus. I'm pretty sure that in one of my earlier videos I mentioned that before I started taking this, I was a little bit skeptical that this might just be a placebo, but after taking this for a week, I can safely say I'm totally confident this is not a placebo, and it really does work. I'm able to focus much more intensely on things without getting distracted every 5 minutes. I do a lot of web design and video editing and writing and things that are done on a computer, so it's very easy for me to get distracted with things like funny cat videos on YouTube or Facebook or crap like that. But with this, I don't get distracted. I just stay locked in on the one task until it's done. And it seems easy to do that too. I'm not forcing myself to do tasks, I'm just doing them. Now, another interesting effect that I found that I'd also say is a positive effect, it's not so much helpful with productivity or anything like that, but it's really amplified my enjoyment for music. I'm much more immersed in music when I'm listening to it. It seems like the same focus that Anuracetam gives me for a task, it gives me that focus as well for music, you know, and I'm particularly enjoying really atmospheric music with lots of instruments, not so many lyrics. I'm often listening to stuff that I wouldn't normally listen to. So I guess one of the big things about this, and I guess the reason you're able to focus on things more, and the reason that music sounds better, is because it just almost feels as if your senses are heightened. I feel like when I'm going for a run, I can feel the sun on me more, and I can feel myself exercising more. I can feel the music playing louder. It's little things like that. I feel like when I'm editing a video on the computer, I'm dead focused and just do it till it gets finished. Even when I was putting together this chair here, it wasn't so much a boring chore, but just kind of a puzzle for me to solve that I would get done and then move on to something else. Now, one more massive thing I've noticed about this stuff is it doesn't just help me to focus better, but it helps me to focus for longer too. So normally when I'm trying to be productive, I'll try to do the most mentally straining things first thing in the morning, because that's when I'm fresh, I've just had sleep, I can think properly then, after a coffee of course. But if I try to do it late at night when I'm tired, it just doesn't work. I normally end up watching television or having a few beers because I just can't be productive when I'm tired. But on this stuff, I've noticed that even 8 hours, 12 hours into a day, I can still write, edit, do whatever, be so productive, it's crazy. I can often be as productive as I would be first thing in the morning, which for me is a massive thing. So those are the good things about Anuracetam, and here are the not so good things. I've found that if I take too much, it's a little bit overpowering and I can't be productive at all. Yesterday, I tried to have a bigger dose than normal. I'm normally having about 1 gram. Yesterday, I had close to 2, and it was just a bit too strong for me, and my mind was buzzing and racing, but I couldn't focus on one thing at one time. Instead of being content and focused on the one task, it was almost like I was too stimulated and couldn't just sit down and do one thing at a time. Now, second, this is not some kind of miracle dust. This won't let you just sleep for 1 hour at a time and then be super productive the next day. It's not going to save you from a hangover, as I found out the hard way. And I'm not really sure that if you struggle to get motivated anyway, that it's going to suddenly turn you into a productivity superhero like that guy on Limitless. I think what it does is it takes your normal amount of motivation or whatever and it just kind of amplifies it. So if there's a task that you would normally do, whether it's like editing videos like me, or whether you play guitar, or whether you're trying to do an essay or whatever, and you would normally do that anyway, I think taking this will give you a boost. But I don't think it will just write the essay for you, if you get what I'm saying. Now, to be honest, I am struggling to think of any other negatives because my overall experience on this has been actually pretty positive. I guess the one other thing I would say that's bad about this is that it will cost you a fair bit if you want to take it regularly. It would probably set you back about an extra $50 to $100 a month, depending on what kind of choline you get. I obviously got the most expensive choline, but there are cheaper options out there. So guys, that's basically been my whole experience on Anuracetam. It's been interesting, it's been enlightening, and it's been super productive. I'm glad I found out about nootropics, and I enjoyed putting this video together for you. I hope you enjoyed it too, and learned something from it. And if you've got any questions or suggestions or anything like that, just chuck them in the comment section on YouTube. I actually plan on trying out a few different other nootropics, and we'll probably make some more 7-day trials with them too. So if you've got any other suggestions for nootropics that I should try out and do a 7-day trial of, then I'd love to hear them. Chuck them in the comment section below. And since I do plan on making more of these videos, make sure that you don't miss out by hitting the subscribe button right here. And of course, if you want more information on Aniracetam and want to find out where you can get it for the lowest prices and all that jazz, then you can visit my blog right here. I'll see you guys later.